Hello everyone, I'm Captain Logan.
I'm Eric.
And welcome to the first episode of Marvel Mania. Today, Eric and I embark on our 43-episode insane journey to watch every movie based on a Marvel property.
That was going to be put in theaters.
And
actually, if it was just the ones we're going to be put in theaters, that's a much shorter list. We got two.
Yeah, yes, the ones that did not make it to theater, but we're gonna be... Anyway, we begin with Howard the Duck from 1986, which is kind of crazy to think about, that we are in the cinematic age of Marvel these days, and the Marvel movies begin with Howard the Duck, or at least movies based on Marvel properties. 1986, once again, there is a Captain America serial before that in the 40s, but beyond that, and... Of course, there was a lot of TV stuff in the late 70s, so they were kind of putting their eggs more in the TV basket.
I really like that Doctor Strange TV movie.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's actually a pilot or a TV. Look, I'm making noise.
and I have respect for the whole show.
That pilot's really good.
Yeah.
It's a really solid pilot. I wish that show got more comic booking. That's the thing.
Eric has never seen
I've never seen Howard the Duck. But in many ways it feels like I've seen Howard the Duck because I live on the internet.
Yeah, there's
a lot of things that like used to be like.
Have you seen my rewind?
I have seen your rewind.
Okay, so I mean you know what happens and you know what a lot of the criticisms are.
That's the majority of what I know about for The Punisher as well. The
one
that we'll be watching next. I've never seen that as well. I've
two
only
in a row
seen your
you've
rewind.
not seen, but you have seen the 1990 Captain America.
Yes, I have a couple of times.
Isn't that a strange trifecta?
Well, there's all these things that used to be like mysterious is the wrong word, but like Roger Corman, Fantastic Four, the Star Wars Christmas special. There's all these things where like, oh, it's this thing that's like hard to get a hold of, and now it's not. And like the mystique is gone, and
that's kind of sad. But at the same time, it is kind of neat. I mean, there's a trade-off for everything. Yeah. But it's kind of neat that we can go back and look at those things now. But you're right; it's no longer novel to talk about, really.
Yeah.
And odd that this will be the second commentary I've done on Howard the Duck. Folks were already, when I did that commentary, like, are you ready to get past Howard the Duck now? Can we talk about something else and stop talking about that? And we're back to Howard the Duck because it is, through no fault of our own, the beginning of this string of movies that we are going to be talking about and doing commentaries for the next 43 straight days. So here we go. Eric and I are going to eat our lunch. We're having Jimmy John sandwiches today.
Yeah.
You've got what? Beef? Roast beef?
Yeah, I've got the Hunter.
Yeah, and I've got the Hunter, and I've got the totally tuna because I love me some tuna with hot peppers.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
It's a nice combination. And I'm drinking today Henry's Hard Soda.
I also have Henry's Hard Soda.
Cherry Coke. Yeah, we'll be doing some free advertising for companies that we enjoy as we are doing these commentaries. And once again, these are not the official commentaries for any of these movies. This will be really loose and laid back. You are watching a movie.
Have Lay's wavy chips.
Original Lay's
chips. They're original. These are actually Vince's. I stole them.
You'll be just kind of watching movies with us, or just listening to us as we are watching a movie. If you don't want to have to watch the movie with us, and it's gonna be a lot of fun to see Eric's reactions in the moment to this film. Are you ready, sir?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Make sure to get your DVD to timestamp 0, or however you're going to watch it. And right now we have not the best setup for this because my computer
44 days to figure it out.
Is way over there, and we're going to see as we move along if we can come up with a better...
We'll figure it out on day 40.
Maybe, I don't know, like webbing?
I'm telling you, man, if you just had a stick, you could just...
Everybody press play. Anyway, okay, so we're going to start the movie. Here we go. Everybody, please press play right now!
Do not press play now.
Okay, go back. Everybody go back. What happened? I had it all set up. We pressed play, and then we got a road cone from Easy Media Player. VLC Media Player. Also, quick plug for VLC. Well, maybe not a plug. It broke on me.
Well, but it is your preferred media player.
It is.
Although it's also the one that broke Space Ghost, isn't it?
Yeah, it is the one that broke Space Ghost. We thought there was a really crappily made Space Ghost set, Volume 2. that just didn't have menus.
And just played on loop.
It turns out it's actually a really cool menu, too.
Alright.
I'm not cutting this part out.
No.
Is everybody ready? Here we go. Everybody, please press play. Let me make sure the subtitles are in. Yes, they are. Everybody, please press play right now! Yes!
There we go.
There we go. Space!
Is that Duck World?
Is that the Universal of Duck World? It might be, Eric.
I would have made it Duck World. That would have been a nice little Easter egg.
Yeah, Duck World's Universal is called Multiversal.
No, unfortunately, unlike other things that we've done together,
Yeah.
I'm not bringing anything new to this. I'm not a Howard the Duck fan. I haven't read that stuff, so I can't be like, oh, well, this is where they pulled this from.
Well, that's okay. We've already had that commentary. Because Duke knew all that stuff.
Oh, really? Oh, okay, cool.
Duke wanted to do this because he's a big Howard the Duck fan.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And so, go listen to our commentary there.
I will.
For a mo. now I'm advertising things to Eric. This is unfortunately. This unfortunately was kind of a bad career move for Leah Thompson. And of course, there was no knowing it at the time, but I think she would have been a bigger actress had this not happened.
Maybe so.
I mean, she had some real potential to be hot stuff after Back to the Future, which of course is how she gets this.
She's one of the two of my first like childhood crushes.
Yeah, she's a really lovely lady.
Yep.
Howard T. Duck. The T stands for the. See, isn't this hilarious, Eric?
Breeders?
Breeders of the Lost. Yep.
That's kind of. I don't even know if that's a pun. I'm not sure what the joke is.
The ducks reproduce.
Everyone reproduces.
Yeah. It's going to be really hard watching these, especially the ones that I've done rewinds on, and not just say all the stuff I've said before.
The silence is broken!
But they still have fish in Duck World. In fact, the one thing that they don't have that is ridiculous that they don't have is pizza.
Well, how could you eat pizza with a beak? You don't have teeth to tear through it.
Well, that was my favorite point I made in that rewind. I just ruined it. I like the Splash Dance poster. That's kind of fun. Some of these are sort of creative. But it just goes on and on where you're like, okay, we get it. You know,
it's just like our world, but with time.
But with time.
This is a kid's movie, isn't it?
That's part of the problem, is that it can't decide. And it wants to be kind of risque, but then it's also a family film. And has a very family movie kind of action-y third act. What is on that guy's head?
Okay, so that joke before was kind of funny. The soap opera, she's like, I love you! He goes, this guy's dead. This guy's dead. Gloria Katz, that name sounds familiar.
Yeah. She's one of the big Lucasfilm producers at the time.
Okay.
And this movie, a lot of what goes wrong with this movie is kind of her fault. And I don't think Willard Huyck is a bad director or anything. It's really hard not to think that this movie would have been a lot more fun and maybe even more coherent if we just if we had a whole movie just in Duck World.
Wow.
But you knew about that.
I knew about the magazine.
Yeah.
I didn't know about that.
Oh, you didn't know about... Oh, really? Okay.
How is that? This was PG, right?
I think it was PG, yeah.
And this is all going to be explained, right? By the end of the film? We're going to explain why this happens?
Yes, and it's still not going to make sense.
Okay. I don't know Howard the Duck's comic book origin. I guess I'll have to go listen to Duke's commentary.
I do like that
The planet's shaped like an egg?
the planet is shaped like an egg, yeah. So, we get an explanation for how he ends up getting sucked to Earth, but we don't know why, or like, the machine that does that. Mm-hmm. But we don't know why it rips him specifically from his living room. And this is going to be an opening narration thing that makes no sense at all. What is, what was, and what will be. Start here with the words. In the beginning, there was Howard the Duck. I don't know what that means. It's the beginning of the film.
It's comedy.
Oh. Notice how Eric's not laughing.
A real specific sense of humor.
I love it when someone says... Well, and that's the thing, is that, yes, it's absurd, but that only goes so far. You still need some kind of an internal logic. Or, as I always say, an internal logic that is very clearly there is no internal logic, which is not what this is. So, Gloria Katz is really protective of this movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the special features are really funny. Yeah, this release came out just a few years ago, and they did a bunch of special features for it, which was really cool. But Gloria Katz is still in denial about how much people didn't like this, and she just keeps saying over and over again, well, people don't understand. It's a comedy. It's absurd. And I'm like, yeah, but it's a bunch of stuff that just doesn't come together. And that's such a cop-out thing to say, too. Like, oh, it's absurd, so therefore I should be laughing at everything. Like, there's still standards of comedy in absurdity. It's got to be clever. It can't be just the obvious least common denominator kind of jokes.
Was that you gone?
You know, when people didn't like the ice puns in Batman and Robin, for instance, the problem wasn't that movie was a comedy, it was that it wasn't funny.
Yeah.
And of course people didn't want that to be a comedy.
I mean, it is funny, but not for the reasons
not exactly
that they thought.
Yeah.
Oh, that's 80s hair.
This is really a product of its time. And I like some of it tonally.
There are many things I like about the 80s and understand about the 80s. The obsession with big hair, I will never get. And McFarlane talks about that with Spider-Man. Like, that was his big thing with Mary Jane. He's like, I made her modern. I gave her big hair. And I was like, but why?
It's so impractical, too. Why would you want that?
I don't know.
You'd be so top-heavy.
I've never... And I've also heard people who, like, were teenagers in that time period or, like, that kind of, lived through that. And they were like... And, like, I've heard them still say, like, oh, I miss women with big hair. Like, big hair is really hot. I don't get it, man.
You don't see
Satan's
the appeal.
sluts.
Uh-huh. Well,
Kids
that's been said now on Geekvolution.
It's in the movie!
No, I know.
I want people to have context for what I was talking about. Is this set, like in the city right next to Mad Max?
Yeah, it's real over the top, and it can't decide how over the top its Earth wants to be versus Duck World. Mm-hmm. That's kind of part of the problem. I like initially the idea of this, where like he goes to a world that looks completely alien to him, and it feels really alien to us because the streets in the 80s with all the urban upheaval and stuff is weird and scary and strange and seems like wrong and perverse and stuff. And so there could have been some really cool commentary with that, where like our world looks alien to us in certain pockets, or maybe we are transforming into something we don't want to be, and it doesn't do anything with that.
I know what happens here. RoboCop's going to show up and he's going to push in between the legs.
It does look like RoboCop. Unlike the year before RoboCop comes out.
Oh, really?
Well, is it RoboCop 87?
I don't know. I do not know the release date of RoboCop.
This is 86, so it's right around there.
Not to say that RoboCop was the first movie to have this scene with these street thugs. Ha! He said duck instead of guy!
And here comes Duck Fu.
I think that's a comic book thing, isn't it?
Do you see what I see? A dude in a duck costume? Oh, Quack Fu, that's right.
It's like the Smurf thing.
So, does the costume, the animatronics bother you? Like, if the script was good?
No.
Could you live with it?
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I think so, too.
I think it's pretty good for the time.
And for how many iterations of it they went through and had to kind of hobble something together at the 11th hour. Because it was not working. But yeah, this is always my big question is it trying to tell us that this is what the world right then in 86 looks like, or is this heightened and comic booky?
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately, the answer is, yeah, it's supposed to be heightened and comic booky.
I noticed he's got pants. That's actually a big deal with Howard the Duck.
Yeah.
There's a whole legal battle.
Right. That's another thing that Duke talked about.
That's one of the few things I know about Howard the Duck. I think they talk about Marvel the Untold Story. That's probably where I know it from.
Conveniently timed rain.
That's a movie.
For atmosphere. We should do that here. We should have conveniently timed rain.
Mm-hmm.
Cleveland.
You know,
Planet Cleveland and Planet Houston.
I think Cleveland still looks mostly like this.
Yeah.
I've been to Cleveland.
Have you?
Yeah, it's Ohio.
Is it kind of Detroit-y?
Yeah, but without the class of Detroit. There's a whole song about how terrible Cleveland is.
Maybe they'll erect a statue of Howard the Duck there.
Maybe. They should do that.
You got a little something.
Do I?
The other side.
This side?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There you go.
Gone?
Yep.
I'm sorry.
I wouldn't have felt the need to say anything if we weren't on camera.
No, I said sorry to the people on camera.
No. That's a small umbrella.
It's for one person.
Oh, it's also sort of a romance. That's a thing.
No, and that's one of the things I knew about this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I know that she like hits on him and they almost sleep together.
They almost sleep together. And that is one of the most awkward scenes I've ever seen because the scene does not know what the comedy is and what it's trying to convey.
But you live in a city like this, you're not going to trust anybody. You're certainly not going to trust a duck. What is it about him that has convinced her? Is that
He saved her from some thugs.
Okay. Okay. Oh, she's got a place fixed up real nice.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the problem with a lot of movies and sitcoms, things like this. It's dumpy. But if this is all where she lives, like, is this an apartment complex?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I was going to say, this is huge.
I don't know. Because you look at this is not an apartment.
Yeah. You know.
This is a loft.
Yeah.
This is like where Barry Allen becomes the Flash. Like, I like how this is lit.
I paid $900 a month to live in a place smaller than this.
There are things I legitimately like in this movie. That word will come up every now and again. And of course, the problem with this movie is not her. she does the best she can with this material, and seems to really be enjoying making this movie. Almost as much as I'm enjoying making Eric sit through it. You know, this was on my stack of he made me watch movies, and now you're watching me make Eric watch this. We would shoot some of the actual viewings of those if talking over a movie doesn't mess with your first time seeing it.
I'm not sure why this is funny.
Look at the chemistry brewing on screen. Like Lipton's iced tea.
I'm not sure if I'm like slightly chortling at the actual jokes or that they thought they were jokes. I don't think it's working for me, but
the fact that you're questioning that means it's the second thing.
Okay.
It has to be the second thing. You see how confused it is tonally? Even like just as little of the way as we're in already, it does not know if it's for families or not.
Yeah, no, it has no idea. And if it wasn't, it would go further than it already has.
So the thing they have in common is that they're both musicians.
Right.
And we could have done more with that, but... And also that, like, they're somewhat estranged from their families, and, like, there was stuff to build on. And this is part of why it's just supposed to be absurd and silly doesn't work as an excuse for what this movie is, because it wants to have real drama also within an absurd context.
That's weird that you came up with an ad that's exactly the same as an ad in our world.
Yeah, yeah. How does that work? Boy, parallel universes, they're weird things, Eric.
Yep.
The mysteries of the universe. The living tribunal works in mysterious ways.
There are no accidents in the universe, except this movie.
This is somewhat of an accident, yeah.
This movie is also the last time I remember George Lucas ever being interested in anything somewhat contemporary. Like, he really liked this comic, and he really wanted to
adapt something. Yeah, and isn't it just a strange choice? Like, with all the potential that I'm seeing here, and you might laugh saying that, but when I lived with it, I was like, no, I'm seeing some potential here. There could have been a pretty good comedy here.
It was a successful, well-liked comic. Like, clearly there's something there.
It should have been animated, and it was supposed to be animated. And that was, of course, the first big mistake they made.
Why didn't they make it animated? Wouldn't that be cheaper?
I don't remember. It's been a while since I've looked at the behind the scenes on it. And again, that's a thing that we talked about in the other commentary. But I think it was just Lucasfilm wanting to try to push envelopes with special effects and stuff.
Well,
and I don't think they thought they could make as much money with it if it was animated. Because again, it's supposed to have this kind of like adult raunchy side to it and stuff, and I think that maybe that was part of it too. Once again, we're still doing all these duck puns.
It is. It's the Smurfs. Like, we just change every word to Smurf, and that makes it clever and different and Smurfy. Oh.
And there's the duck on him. To go to some of the places they're going here, it really needed to just be a straight up
adult film,
rated R adult film, I think.
Mm-hmm. And you could do that as a cartoon. I mean, there's precedent for that with like Fritz the Cat and things like that.
They have metal. This is, I think, one of the best examples of trying to please everyone.
Yeah.
And pleasing no one. In like, going to the farthest extreme of that you could possibly imagine. That's a really good word for this movie, just extreme. I don't know what the soundtrack is doing right now.
I will say, I feel like this movie has somewhat fallen off the radar as like I don't feel like this one comes up as often of like the worst films of all time.
Some of that's just because it's been a while and we've made some crappy movies since then.
Yeah.
I mean, certainly my generation still talks about it as one of the worst things that ever happened.
So far, it's more enjoyable than Battlefield Earth. Which is one of the worst movies ever made.
Well, once things like The Room happen, people stop talking about Howard the Duck. We get The Room. But once you see any amount of time with this guy, you'll wonder why we're not still constantly talking about this movie.
What?
This guy is the bizarre comic relief character in your movie with a talking dog. It already has its comic relief. It doesn't need relief. It's a comedy. Extreme is the word of the day.
Is he also David Bowie?
Okay, so that guy was not David Bowie.
What?
He was David Bowie. He has a name that sounds a lot like David Bowie. He's not David Bowie.
Thank God.
Yeah.
We would have looked like fools.
Yep.
I was worried we did look like fools, but we didn't.
UHF. David Bowie. Why did we have to do the Superman reference? And that's the thing we still sometimes do, even though superhero movies are so popular, is we like to go, we're based on a superhero comic, so we must have a Superman reference. Mm-hmm. And that's like always our generic go-to reference for superhero things.
You'll believe a man can't fly.
You know, we did it in Spider-Man, like we like. Eric has superpowers.
It's real hard to do your test when your nose is gushing blood.
Eric, show us one of your superpowers.
Sometimes that works.
I was going to make a joke about how it was so fast you couldn't see it.
No, sometimes cards just shoot out. It's not a useful superpower, but sometimes it works.
He used to work at a casino. It was great.
That was sad that, like, it's been done. Like, that is a thing that, like, that's just standard procedure. Like,
every time in this heightened comic book universe, something just falls out of the sky. Did we intentionally light this so that the shadow on his glasses would make him look creepy? Was that on purpose?
I don't know. I don't think he's supposed to be creepy in the scene. He's just a dork.
Yeah. See, that's his superpower. He can make the evolution of man look like ducks. That's actually kind of funny. Like. But I thought in the beginning there was Howard the Duck.
Yeah.
Or there were the words. Oh. So the real problem is that she was dumb enough to bring him to this guy, right? Like,
yeah, why is she surprised? Like, if she knows him, she should know who he is, what he does, right?
Unless this... And some of this is just the movie not communicating things to us. So, like, did she think he was a scientist?
How long has she thought he was a scientist?
How did they
her?
know each other?
That's kind of cool. I'm sure that's not for the movie. I'm sure that's, like, in front of an actual building, but that's kind of cool. That,
why
like,
does she...
wood metal thing?
How did you know to go there? Like... She seems completely and utterly disgusted with that guy.
Yeah.
But she brought him there. And that is just the tip of the iceberg of people not seeming like people in this movie.
Everyone loves you.
See, is that scarier when you look like anything that's not human? Like, if you're dressed up like a donut and you go, "Rah!" Is that just immediately creepier? Okay, it is. It is, because you're a donut, but...
That's a real Miss Piggy performance there.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know if that's intentional or not.
I feel like she thinks she knows what kind of movie she's in, but the movie's not sure about it.
Yeah.
Like, I almost would have tried to build the tone of this movie around what she's doing.
Right. Which is much more Muppety.
Yeah. And real cartoony. And, of course, it feels real cartoony, too.
Mm-hmm.
I said the rewind, I like the idea that he's the straight man in a really weird cartoony world that's supposed to be an exaggeration of the one we live in.
Mm-hmm. I think that's what they do in the comics. I think. Okay.
I like how
Phonies
she
and
says
fakers?
outlandish.
Those are the problem cases you have to send to... I don't know, that seems weird to me.
What do you mean?
She's the one that deals with, like, the misfits and the outcasts and, like, the people from the wrong side of the tracks.
Mm-hmm.
Phonies and fakers are not the same kind of people. Phonies and fakers are, like... the kind of people that you would run into at normal jobs. Like, they're the kiss-ups. They're the people that jump on train. I don't know. That just seems weird.
So he's like just gonna go around biting people?
Yeah, that seemed weird. And the way it's played, it's like an instinctual thing.
Yeah. I feel like you can see a lot of in a scene just going, what if we did this?
Mm.
Yeah, it feels like a movie, and again, of course, most movies are shot out of order, but it feels like a movie that, if only it had been shot in sequence, might have made more sense.
Is this a sex spa? Like, what am I looking at?
I'm not sure.
There's not like a strip club.
It's kind of brothel-y.
Oh, but it's... I don't know. I guess I thought spa because there's steam everywhere.
Well, I was looking away from the screen. Is there a shot of risqueness?
Oh,
When he
yeah.
walks in there? I thought so.
There's almost boobs again, but like
Yeah.
real person boobs, not
Yeah.
duck boobs.
Yeah, that's right. Because those two are making out in a hot tub.
All we're seeing is people making out.
What is this movie? I mean, like, who's it for?
Is this a thing in the 80s? Do we have spa brothels? Spothels? I just... I know this was sold to children. Like, at the very least, whether it's supposed to be a kid's movie or not, it was sold like a kid's movie.
Well, and everyone involved in the production talks about it like a family film.
They're very different families then.
So it's as if that... I don't know. It feels like that's kind of the main tone, and then the family stuff is shoved in. But I think what they did was they made a family movie, and then they put in
Some
the more
risque
risque
stuff for
stuff
adults.
so that adults wouldn't see it as a silly cartoon movie that they're not supposed to watch because it's for kids.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, because that stuff's in the comics. I mean, like Howard is a more racy comic.
Right, right. Yeah, that's the tone you want for your Howard the Duck movie.
So I think they wanted to make that, but they shoved in the family stuff. But they talk about it like a family movie to what, like cover themselves or something? You know, just
Or they forget all the risque stuff, because clearly none of those people have gone back to this film.
that's a duck, man.
That's like the, in Superman, what does that guy say? Which is something suit.
I don't remember.
It's like, it's a fly outfit! Something like that.
I don't remember that. Wait, what are we talking about?
In,
What movie?
In Superman the movie?
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah, there's like a guy in the crowd and he says something about Superman's suit and it's
Okay,
fun.
so as ridiculous as this movie is, one of the things that I least am able to accept is that every one of these TVs is showing something to do with ducks.
Yeah.
I cannot handle that. There's like 15 TVs and they're all showing duck things.
Also, do they have cartoons on Howard's World? Like, how does he interact with like a Daffy the Duck cartoon? Like, what does he think that is?
Yeah, that's a good point. That would just look like people to him.
Are there people cartoons on his world?
I don't think they have people. Well, no, they don't have people because he...
Are there monkey cartoons? Because he knows a monkey is.
Because, you know, he reacts to these people like he's never seen
Yeah.
their species before.
But he doesn't know what monkeys are, so... Are there monkey cartoons? Is there like a...
What other kind of animals are on his planet?
A Maffy monkey? Something like that?
And we clearly didn't work out anything at all about what Duck World is beyond it's just like our world, but with ducks.
Now, she's obviously not singing, right?
I think she actually did.
That's not a bad singing voice. I'm not saying I'm going to buy the record, but...
There's one weird thing later on where you'll hear a different version of a song she sings on stage.
Mhm.
So, like, they're covering a song that you then hear in the soundtrack? Isn't that just bizarre? It might be this song, I can't remember.
But, like, this isn't exactly my jam, but it's not bad music. Like, especially for the 80s, like...
It's fine. But I can't wait to see what you think of the song at the end. Unless you've heard it before.
I don't think so.
Oh, good.
Maybe I'll hear it and I'm like, oh, yes. But I don't believe so. What's too depressing? Is it the song?
And, like, why now is it more depressing than it would have been on any other night?
Yeah.
Like, is there story being told right now? We're still kind of just establishing status quo. I mean, yes, he has something he wants and he hasn't figured out how to get it yet. And he's trying to figure out how to live on this planet if he's stuck on it. But what exactly is her deal? Like, is she more upset because they're not getting along? Like...
That scene that just happened, I've only ever seen in things where it's intentionally making fun of people giving exposition.
Yeah.
Like, that is one of the worst written scenes I've ever seen.
And these guys are like right out of The Crow.
Fire it up! Fire it up!
Everyone really should just assume he's a guy in a costume. And some people do.
You have to pick one or the other with something like this.
Well,
Everyone is like, oh
okay
man, he's a duck.
I think it's okay for different people to have different reactions to things, but it does feel confused. I don't think it's that the individuals have cut, because the problem is nobody in this feels like real people, so it makes it difficult to make the argument, oh, that guy sees one thing and somebody else sees something else.
Little wise quacker. No, that guy doesn't know what the word mallard means.
You don't think?
Nah.
And who thinks Quackman is that clever?
Oh, he stood back up after I threw him off the.
We're in
bar.
What's
going on?
I thought dropping a person immediately knocked them out. I can't remember what it was. I saw something the other day where somebody just shoves someone and it knocks them out. I can't remember what it was, and it was something that, what was it? It was otherwise like a good movie, but somebody gets pushed and falls on the floor, and that knocks them out, and they don't get up. So he was taking advantage of them, and
yeah, no, I got
now
that.
Come to the rescue.
It also seemed to suggest that he was sleeping with them, because he's like, so go and take it back to my place for some career manipulation.
Oh
or something
yeah.
like that.
Mm.
Don't they notice that there's nobody watching them? It took them that long.
That's a really good point. At what point are people going to start realizing that from space means from some other planet most of the time?
So they've all kind of got uniforms, and she's just doing her own thing.
Well, she's the lead singer.
Yeah, but usually when you have, like, uniforms for your band, like, everybody's kind of dressed... Like, they're all black and red. Like, they don't look exactly the same, but they're all black and red.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's just got her complete own thing.
No, that makes sense. Because then, like, she stands out. Because she's the lead singer. And she's still wearing red and black. It's just more black than red.
I don't know. That feels like a... Like, unless this band is, like...
There are no...
her and some backup
There
people.
are no rules with a thing like that, though.
I don't know.
It just
That seems like the kind of thing that tears bands apart. Ha 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 ha.
The squawking thing. Yeah. Yeah.
What was that?
And so he just hangs out backstage with the band?
And watches them undress.
Is he a groupie?
He's friends with them?
Oh, that's right. He's dating one of them. That's how she knows him.
Oh, okay. That's unfortunate for whoever that is.
So, pace in this movie real slow, yeah?
That guy would never say that to that girl.
What?
No sex now, I'm working.
That's true. And she must, for some reason, be real desperate to be dating that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Or these people are not real people.
Or, maybe he's real nice.
I like that line. Mr. Duck, you're wonderful! So, weird pronunciation of the word colleague. My colleague. This is my colleague, Eric. We're gonna be famous.
Sorry, I was practicing my supervillain laugh just after I finished that sentence.
Somebody should really sample this movie for a techno song. I think it's just perfect for them.
Yeah.
Now, believe it or not...
Pianos don't work the same in Duck World?
What do you mean?
Like, synthesizers, he's a musician. And he was like, ooh.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, because it's parallel development, so the technology should be to, a similar place. So believe it or not, this actually sets off something that pays off at the end.
That he can play the piano?
No, this is the this silly thing he's playing right now is the basis for the song at the end.
Oh.
I really hate that.
Howard and the Heartbreakers?
I hate that. Because you see the poster of it in his apartment at the beginning.
Right.
Everything develops parallel. So there's every reason to think initially that he is that world's Tom Petty. I hate that. Don't do, especially in this era. Everybody's got to be thinking Tom Petty right then.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Here it comes.
This world's Tom Petty.
Here it comes. Because he didn't make it. I feel like his pervertedness is supposed to somehow be almost endearing.
That's a thing that is in a lot of stuff.
Yeah. But
usually
again,
it's
it's
older
weirder in this
character.
context because it's supposed to be a family film.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna quiet through the scene, and Eric's gonna explain this scene to me when it's over.
He wants to sleep with her, and she kind of wants to sleep with him. I understand what's weird about this scene.
Keep watching.
He's got.
Just watch.
Okay. Oh, hey, it's that guy. I know him from a bunch of stuff.
Yep.
Um,
And he's gonna get hilarious.
he's always hilarious. He's the principal in Ferris Bueller.
Yeah, but he's the weirdest thing in this movie. So, explain that scene to me.
Okay. So I might be reaching a little bit.
Uh-oh.
All right. So she's sleeping with her manager. She's a promiscuous sort.
Mm-hmm.
Howard's a loser that never made it, and maybe has not actually been with people, or has not been with many women, and so he's actually uncomfortable. And so he puts on a show of this bravado, but he doesn't actually know how to follow through with it. That's my read.
Okay, but there's too much evidence in his apartment that he's slept around a lot.
Is there?
Yeah.
I got a lot of evidence that he's with himself a lot.
Yeah. Maybe I'm wrong.
I mean, I've only seen this movie once.
But yeah,
that's my best explanation for that.
Because it really feels like just teasing the audience with people, again, not acting like people.
No, and that...
Was she gonna take her shirt off? At some point, at what point would she have told him she was kidding when it went too far? And was she actually
Yeah. I don't know.
That's so confused.
It flips 3 times throughout the scene where I'm like, okay, so this is what's going on. Oh no, this is what's going. Oh, this is what's going on. It's got layers. Is what I'm saying.
Why did it specifically pull you? Because it goes into his apartment and almost goes and finds him. That was kind of a neat camera move.
Yeah.
Go from his face on the TV to his face.
I wonder if that's a reference to him not wearing pants. He's like, where are my pants?
Where are my pants?
What's the Lego movie?
Where are my pants?
Is Where Are My Pants?
Yeah.
How's your pants? Serious for that.
And then a little later, one of the big questions is going to be, why did it put him somewhere else? Excuse me. As opposed to in their laboratory? Because anything else it grabs goes to their laboratory. But he goes into the street.
Because he's got soul.
Sure.
He's an independent spirit, and he can't be bound by...
Eric likes to break things I like, and he likes to fix things that I think don't work. And I gotta sit through 42 mornings with him too. Great. How was your sandwich?
It was really good.
Good. Oh, what do you think of these?
They're good. I like them. Yeah, last night I just had 2 of them. No, I had one of mine that I had the Vulcan.
Hot tub fever. What is it with this movie and hot tubs?
That's where coupling takes place. As I've learned from this film. I've been doing it all wrong.
Me too, apparently.
It's amazing you have 2 kids.
I don't know how that happened. I didn't realize it was supposed to be in a hot tub. We should probably get our kids checked out. Make sure they're okay, you know?
If I had kids, yeah.
No, I mean my kids. Wait, we should probably get my kids
Our
checked
kids?
out.
Okay.
Did I say my kids?
You said our kids.
You should probably get your kids checked out. I know Eric and I are a fighting married couple, but we don't have children.
Not yet. We're hoping. That's kind of funny.
Boiled from a hard-boiled egg. I like that.
Egg, that's...
But the problem is he's a different character from scene to scene.
Yeah. Oh no, it doesn't
Which is
fit
real
the character,
unfortunate.
but just as a line, that's kind of a fun thing.
I hate it when characters in movies, because they're faking it being a story, try to tell you what a character is supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
When we haven't seen that happen, and when we have a lot of contradictory nature to that.
And if I read that on the page, I would read that as a joke. Where he's like, I'm not really sentimental, but he's clearly sentimental, so, I bet you're born from real heart. But she's not saying it like that.
And, yeah, and he's not saying that with any kind of irony. It's good map painting.
Yeah. Dynatechnics.
Once again, it is weird how much of a B movie this feels because it's Lucasfilm and it's their top special effects people.
Yeah, no, this feels like a Cannes film with a budget, like that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like it could be a Corman film, but with less nudity.
And weirdly, it feels like it
Was
should
he
have
blinded
more.
with syphilis?
Oh yeah, that's a tip reference. I think she blinded him with science.
Sure. Hey, maybe we should be concerned about the guy that said we have no right to tamper with the universe.
Oh look, one like glimmer of humanity in film, which is supposed to be enough to make us think that he's a human being.
We leave for 5 minutes. That thing was like completely built in the video, wasn't it? It had like casings on the outside and stuff.
Well, I think it got messed up. What?
When you're on a scientific lab,
Uh-huh.
and you've got a big beam that pulls things from space, the thing you want to hear is "lost control again."
That's great. Or is that just some tiny person in a duck costume? Something else.
Like how it's mom? Or his dad?
Oh no, my mom's here!
She's got me real judgmental about your apartment, Lorraine! I don't know what her name is.
Let's just call her Lorraine. No, she's Beverly.
Beverly.
And that's the character in the comics. According to Duke, she's nothing like the character in the comics, but
for no reason, I'm gonna disagree with Duke and say she's just like the character from the comics.
that's a duck, man!
Oh, you don't have a duck pun for lawyer?
Yeah, you treat him like a person and call him a duck.
Yeah. We used to threaten to sue people a lot more in movies.
You gonna kill me? No, this is the 90s! We're gonna sue you!
Oh.
They're trying to take his costume off.
Yeah,
but he's
no,
a
I
duck.
got that.
But he's a duck, man.
So, based on the interviews and
He's
stuff,
gonna be a sitting duck.
this is the movie they wanted to make. This is not something where like they had to keep making compromises and like
Yeah. Well, kind of. There were compromises at the beginning. Duck World was a mandate. They didn't want to do that. There were definitely some mandates.
Duck World is not a comic book thing, I assume.
I can't remember now. I feel like I thought it was, but then Duke said it wasn't. Maybe I forget. We'll have to look that up. I'll have to swim over to my computer and look that up.
I don't actually care that much.
What's that?
I don't actually care that much.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
It's just I used to know that, and now I can't remember.
They've recently started
Because I think it's in there now.
They've recently started putting the Steve Gerber stuff into like the Epic collections.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so like they're big, like 15 issues at a time kind of thing. I'll get that at some point. I'll read it. I know there's a whole issue that's not a comic book. It's just
Weird.
It's all prose of him talking about how hard it is to put out a comic book and why the comic is late. None of those characters are dressed like that anymore. You should update your wiki or your website.
Would you stop that?
No one knows what I'm looking at. Timeout doesn't work with guns.
Yeah, no, I think it is Duck World in the comics.
Okay.
I've never bothered to sit down and read those. It just doesn't seem like my thing.
I don't know. I don't know what they're like. They seem like they might be my thing, or they might be boring. I know Steve Gerber makes an original character for like Image or something called Destroyer Duck.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's a whole thing with that. Oh man, what's happening to his head? Oh, is
He
it
got
a tumor?
possessed.
Is it a tumor? Or
He's just too smart. His head's gonna explode.
I saw the Incredible Hulk. I get that.
He looks a little bit like that.
A little bit. He would have been a good leader.
He could have been the
in
leader,
80s.
yeah.
If the Incredible Hulk show was made by someone that cares about comics at all, he could have been the leader. He's already got a mustache and everything. It's not the right kind of mustache, but it'll do. Yo, why would you let that guy drive?
That was... I think I said the same thing in the rewind.
Oh.
Yeah, pull over.
Did the third act of our movie start?
Yeah, it feels like it, doesn't it?
That we didn't, like, seed any of this or build to it.
Well, I mean, we sort of did.
Did we?
We've got this thing that beams life forms from other places.
But that was 5 minutes ago. We didn't know any of that until 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, is that the whole first act should have been like 10 minutes.
I know there's like an
This
evil...
really should be your first plot point, right?
Yeah.
What they did with the 3-act structure is they tried to make Howard wants to get home the first plot point, and that doesn't, or like that he's stranded.
Mm.
But that should be your immediate status quo.
Mm.
That's not your first plot point. You're like that's his That's his initial motivation in the first place. That's what he wants. That's your occasion for story. So your first plot point should be something that gets in his way of doing that, or bringing this guy down. But you're right, that has to be seeded earlier.
Yeah. It just...
This is playing like we're hip deep into the second act.
Well, and...
Not to say that everything has to be structured
and based
that way,
on
but...
what I see with the beam and all of that at the beginning of the film, I would assume I would just take something else from Duck World. Like, he's possessed.
Yeah.
That's a completely different thing.
Yes. But we don't really know what the rules of that thing are or what exactly it's doing. Like, it seems like it's just randomly sending a beam to different universes. Or
science.
Or
all
other
about
places
coulda, not about
in galaxies. I mean, I'm assuming it's not interdimensional, actually.
Well, yeah, because they say Duck World is just like another planet.
Which is... And the reason it's hard not to... Oh, we're going to spend way too much time in this diner, by the way. But the reason it's hard for me not to immediately go to interdimensional is that it's a world that developed exactly like ours.
No, it should be.
It feels like an alternate reality. Here it comes. Here it comes. I am now someone else. That really should be the big iconic meme thing that comes from this movie, and I'm the only one that says it. I've been trying to get that to catch on, just didn't. But Mr. Goodplot has been drawing the Dark Overlord of the Universe in a lot of his pictures. So,
all right, what are we saying with a sushi bar made up of white people wearing Rising Sun bandanas? We gotta be saying something, right?
It's weird, and I don't know.
Sure, okay. I thought maybe there was supposed to be some kind of like critique of Chinese food or something.
No, I think it's just.
Is it that it's a diner that like got converted into like a sushi place?
I think it's just that we keep trying like weird, stupid, anachronistic things in the 80s. And so we keep trying to make. we keep trying to create new things and innovate just by blending stuff together and stuff that doesn't fit.
So it's like a
together.
steakhouse sushi bar.
Yeah.
Sure. That could be fun commentary.
And since you have that exaggerated, street at the beginning of the movie, we're trying to do that with other things. Maybe that's the best I can come up with.
No, that could be clever. I don't know if it's well presented, but it could be clever. That could be funny. That's like a real observation about the world.
Yeah, but the problem is it feels too much like a product of its time, like just a straight up product of its time, as opposed to a self-aware commentary of its time.
Mm. Yeah, like I'm not sure if they know that I'm immediately like that's weird. Oh.
Okay, but weren't you always a Dark Overlord of the universe, and you're now inside the body of, like... He seems to have a real identity problem there.
Oh.
Lies beyond the planets. Oh, so he must actually be from another dimension.
Oh, there's other Dark Overlords.
Yes, he's one of the Dark Overlords of the universe.
I see.
That's what he says. He's real committed.
No, he's great. He's always great.
I do like that their heads move with him. I think this is all real fun if it's 20 minutes into the movie.
Yeah. No, this is an alright scene.
So far. It's about to not make any sense at all. So he just said a minute ago that he no longer needs human food, and he's about to get upset because he loses his eggs. Hostility is like a psychic boomerang. Why would there be beer there? That does not look like a place that would serve alcohol.
Oh, those were his eggs.
Excuse me.
He shot lasers from his eyes, like that scientist was asking about earlier. Those weren't dumb questions. They
Oh my goodness, that's a good point! He has those very powers! Maybe later we'll see him bend something?
Set up payoff.
I am not gonna go as far as to call it that.
Wait, but if you're the overlords, that would suggest you are already in control
of the universe.
Yeah. How does that make sense?
It doesn't.
Guess it's her.
Yeah. He must think that he's got like a wire system under the table or something.
Okay, so there's a difference between like being a jerk to someone in a bar and stealing from them?
Yeah.
Like, that feels like that's crossing a line. Not that the other thing is okay or good, but, like... I don't know.
Is this supposed to be a really skeezy dive? Where, like, people just get away with that kind
I
of
don't
thing?
know, because their waitress seems like a real nice lady.
Yeah. And there's a lot of people there that just look like normal people.
Maybe that's part of that mixing cultures thing. Like, it's a skeezy bar, it's a sushi bar, and it's a steakhouse all in one.
So did you see what was stolen?
Yeah, it looked like the memory card for the Dreamcast.
So it's his big master plan thing that he pulls out and starts waving around and talking about.
Okay.
Because he's an idiot, apparently. Why would you do that? And now he's just sitting there and waiting for this to end so that he can then go get it with his superpowers.
Well, who needs the aggravation?
I guess he's finding this very entertaining.
He's done on Hairless Ape quite a bit. I'm kind of offended by that. I have hair. Wait, what did she say?
He's my boyfriend.
Oh. Yeah, these aren't the people you say that to.
Also, do they think he's a real doc? Because if you think he's a real doc, that should make you question everything about existence and stuff, right?
Well, no, they think he's a ventriloquist dummy.
Right, and then they answer, he's my boyfriend with that's disgusting, which suggests they think he's a doc.
Or a dummy. That's disgusting, too.
But then that guy should perpetually be going, how's he sitting over there still doing this?
He's a real good ventriloquist.
And they shouldn't be after him. They should be after the ventriloquist.
They should.
The guy with the meat cleaver cracks me up. Mr. Kogi.
He's like a child. Like he has no object permanence. Like now that's gone, like he forgets that they take it.
That's right. Mm-hmm. I want him to put his hands up in front of his face and think that
phone calling
no one can see him because he can't see them. Is it an important call?
I don't know.
Do you need to take it in the middle of our commentary?
No, I'll take it after. It is from someone from work, so...
Oh.
But it's not from my boss, so I don't know.
Okay, well you can call him back real quick if you want to.
No. Not on camera.
I can hold down the fort here, except you probably want to watch this.
Yeah, it seems like an important plot point. Yeah, it's just a missed call. I didn't get a text or anything. Usually if I'm needed, I will get a summons.
Okay, alright, well we'll see if you get a summons. If he gets a subpoena or something, then that's probably...
One time I got a phone call from somebody at work while I was at work, and they were not. And I was like, what could you possibly want? I'm already here. And they're like, I just want to know... It was some stupid comic book thing. And then they're like, but I remembered, so it's fine. It was like who an artist was or something. This is real Ghostbusters.
Yes.
This is what Gozer should... Not Gozer, Vigo. This is what Vigo should have been.
You think Vigo should have been someone else?
Yeah.
They spent a fortune on this scene.
Why is he destroying the bar? It didn't hurt him.
So that they can do the scene.
But they're all gone. All the people are gone.
He seems to have done that just to get rid of all those people. I really should.
And this doesn't look like a big budget sequence. Like like, Ghostbusters was not a big budget movie when it came out.
Yeah.
And, like, a lot of those effects are really dodgy. This looks like that.
I think it looks a little bit better than that.
The Ghostbusters?
Yeah. Or it's at least on par with it, but...
Yeah, well, and that's where I would put it. I don't think it looks worse than Ghostbusters, but this is supposed to be a big production.
At the time, though, there's not really a lot of other ways you could do those effects.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be animated. But they also just did a lot with, like, pyrotechnics and effects of telekinesis.
Yeah, I mean, this looks great.
You broke my head.
Not wrong, right? Like, that kind of looks like a memory card for a Dreamcast.
It's a lot bigger, but yeah. There's no reason he couldn't have done that 10 minutes ago. He has telekinesis.
So we have the Dark Overlords of the universe.
Yes.
And there was not a single question about God and how this would impact any belief system? Or are they not actually the Dark Overlords of the universe? Are they just like a group of guys that call themselves that?
Yeah, it sounds like a cult, really. You know?
Yeah.
Or a rock band. See, that's what this should have been.
That's what...
This should have been like a rival rock band that comes from another universe that calls themselves the Dark Overlords of the universe.
You start a band with Tim Lyons. And
called
the
Dark Overlords of the universe. It's a great name for a band. I've always wanted to do something with that name. Because nobody ever uses it, and a lot of people wouldn't know where it came from. And the 5 people that knew it was from Howard the Duck would be like, that's awesome!
Well, maybe.
We'd have to have a song called We're Someone Else. Sung in that voice.
Yeah.
You think we're human, but we're someone else. I've heard that before.
But isn't that what you're doing right now?
Uh-huh. This whole thing is real confused. So you notice how we're just in a totally different movie than we were watching, like, 30 minutes ago?
Yeah.
It was about a guy who was stuck in a place that he couldn't leave, trying to find a job and maybe falling in love and being an outcast, and now it's a superhero movie.
Yeah. It's a lot of...
Wouldn't it have been really easy, too, for all this to happen without Howard ever knowing about it?
Yeah.
Like, we had to contrive a way for him to find out about the...
Yeah, you could have kept doing the Howard thing and then doing, like, these scenes alongside of it, and
then maybe it converges later?
Yeah.
Somehow? But, like, let that continue to be a more personal drama about a stranger in a strange land. And once again, that's throwing in everything but the kitchen sink.
Yeah.
When people say about good movies, it's got something for everyone, or it's got everything, this is not what they're talking about.
No.
His performance is bizarre.
Also, I put an exclamation point for when he was whispering in the subtitles. I know you don't like when I mention subtitles, but they put an exclamation point when he says Howard, he's whispering.
Eric!
But you're already the overlords! That would be like...
Well, that's what makes them the Overlord. Like, they didn't know about Earth, and so they've got to take it over, because they're the Overlord. They're just finding out about more places they didn't know about.
That would be like if you rented...
But probably not, because it's supposed to be a realm of demons. And, like, were they stuck in that realm? Could they leave it? I don't know.
That would be like
what's
if you
going
moved
on.
into an apartment, and then, like, 6 months into living in that apartment, your landlord shows up and is like, I'm going to own your apartment!
Well, you're taking this overlord thing real literally, Eric.
What other way is there to take overlord?
Well, you can call yourself something based on ambition. Which
He
seems
said
to
they
be what
rule
they've
the
done.
universe.
I mean, I've done that. I'm not a captain of anything.
Sure.
That's actually a good line.
It's not a bad line.
You want a toolbox because you got a screw loose. We're taking what we can get right now.
Yeah. I'm
So-
also getting some Evil Dead in here.
Oh, interesting.
I'm trying to figure out if Evil Dead 2 Dead by Dawn comes out before this movie or not. I think it does. And if it does, there's a lot of Evil Dead in this. I mean,
And you see a lot of
Evil Dead, but Evil
influences
Dead nonetheless.
from a... I mean, it feels like a bunch of different people were influenced by a bunch of different things.
Mm.
And that it's like 5 movies at the same time. No, that's 87.
Okay.
That's the year after this.
Okay. Then maybe that was influenced by this.
Probably not.
Yeah. Although we don't say Raimi's a comic book guy, somewhat.
It's always interesting to try to figure out the things that are permeating culture and just like what.
What is lifted off
How
of
do I
something
put
else.
this? Like how life for people tends to feel all at the same time that will like really subconsciously affect a bunch of projects at the same time. So it's really hard not to go, this looks like it was influenced by this, when they both were affected by the same things, but it's possibly even like ethereal enough you wouldn't even be able to put your finger on what exactly it is. Does that make any sense at all?
No, that
like
makes sense.
cultural tone.
Yeah.
This is going to go on for 1,000,000 years.
The plane flying?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
I assume that...
This is like the big climactic action scene. Well, not really. It's the big climactic chase scene before the big climactic action scene.
I assume this movie was almost over.
It just goes on and on and on.
Well, sure. I mean... I got nothing.
So we got an airplane! We're gonna use it!
Well, it's not an airplane. It is kind of a cool little contraption. Back at the nuclear power plant.
Meanwhile, at the nuclear power plant... And she got kidnapped, because you gotta have that.
3 Mile Island. It's connected to a movie we will be doing later.
Yeah. Yeah, what... Which one?
X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Oh, yeah! Yeah,
It's all connected.
I forgot about
It's all
that.
part of the same cinematic universe.
We're not gonna do this, are we? We're not gonna try to create a through line that ties all of these movies together. Yeah, we might. We might do some of that. That guy's kind of funny.
There's no security
Not
guards.
like-
no.
I'm not gonna say like I'm an expert on this, but I don't think that's how you tie up someone. That looks kind of easy to get out of.
Well, he's new to this human form thing.
Oh, okay. I don't know if he has access to
So-
Jennings' memories.
The Dark Overlords of the Universe world, exactly the same
visitor.
as our world, but they evolved dark.
Well, no, because
Or
it's a
Overlord.
demon realm. It should look like hell-like.
I mean, that's what you would assume, but based on Duck World,
But that's
I'm
the
willing.
planet.
I'm willing to bet that
They're
it's,
actually from another universe.
are they?
Yeah, they're from a realm outside of the planets. He says, which I
Oh,
take
yeah.
to mean alternate universe or
Or
other dimension
Something bigger beyond.
or something celestial.
Yeah,
even. Then demons would imply potentially celestial.
Yeah.
But these are all just words. So, like, you know, he might just be using the words that we would most understand to classify those things. This is still going on.
I know you're gonna hate this. It's all very Lovecraftian.
I'm so tired of that. Apparently, I'm gonna have to sit down and finally read up on Lovecraft because this comes up all the time. It makes me feel like a complete idiot.
I have
done this before, where I'll go on a 4 or 5 minute like off the cuff analysis about a thing, and then Eric will go, "Well, yeah, sure, but it's just Lovecraft," and then I'm like, "God, freaking, drives me to drink that guy."
Whole beer. Okay, I know that's probably a real company. I'm really bothered by the capitalization on North American.
You've ever seen the North American logo?
I just noticed it. Like, I'm not saying I've never seen it.
Welcome, Ohio duck hunters. Like, what are the odds? Just duck everything shows up. Also, would that be duck hunting season?
I don't know when duck hunting season
I'm going to look that up. I've never thought about this, because we know that Halloween is in just a month.
Sure, yeah.
So we know we're in September.
That might be duck hunting season.
I'm not sure.
If it's not, it might be rabbit hunting season.
Right. Oh, okay, it is.
All right, so that one's not contrived.
Nope, that's actually pretty good. Youth waterfowl are hunted from September 24th to 25th. And other ducks are before that.
I guess those are the duck hunters?
And some in October even. Look, we're learning things!
You didn't know duck hunters existed until 2 minutes ago!
He's getting vengeance for all of his duck kin that have yet to evolve into humanoid duck
You know
form.
what? There's going to be a lot of egg on his face if we go to Duck World and they're hunting monkeys and they have monkey hunting season.
You said egg on his face!
I know what I said.
That was great. Well done. Exhaust emissions testing. Is there also some kind of environmental theme going on here, Eric?
There might be. No, I think that's just a routine thing in the 80s.
It is. Whiplash. This is great. I am not Jack.
He's great. I mean, he's great in everything.
He's real entertaining. But also super bizarre.
Yeah.
Just this whole choice of story.
I'm going to guess none of this is from the comics.
And I'm sure it's not.
There's no Dark Overlord of the universe. There is no Jack.
Wow, those are some... Wait, why did he have to...
Well, he has to get him out of his way so we can keep driving.
Oh, I just wasn't sure why he needed to power up that hard just to shoot one blast, but then it was a pretty massive blast, so...
I don't get it. It was well delivered, but I don't get it.
Smog inspect, because they're where they inspect smog, and he blew up cars there. I don't know why he said that either.
I feel like this movie should be better remembered for his performance.
Yeah, I know, that's what I think. And that was the big thing that always stuck with me when I was a kid when I saw this on TV, because I thought it was mortifying.
Yeah.
It was just really bizarre. I always remember that, and I always remember the last scene when the Dark Overlord is in its big monster
Final form, yeah.
Not to give too much away or anything, Eric.
No, we're clearly building to that.
We're gonna see it. And it's great. So you know how you said you thought that the movie was almost over?
Mm-hmm.
We have...
Good Lord!
33 minutes left.
Well, some of that is credits.
Not the majority of it. It's 1986. Well, I mean, obviously it would be the majority of it. There's not a 25-minute... That's not what I meant. We're in the home stretch here. 20 minutes of credits. The after credit scene of this movie is great too. It sets up the Guardians of the Galaxy.
All ties together. That Jack line is a Guardians of the Galaxy joke.
You think?
Oh yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if it shows up in Guardians of the Galaxy as some kind of weird homage to this film.
I would love to see something homage to this film.
That's what's his name? That's a Drax line.
Yeah.
I have no license. I am not Jack.
Yeah, because you're alien and you don't know the figures of speech.
Yeah.
Be like if somebody calls you friend or pal, you're like, I'm not your friend. No, I know that.
Did Steve Ditko, you sent a 5-page letter about it?
What?
Steve Ditko once sent like a 5-page letter to someone because they wrote a like 4-page The Question story where he refers to a criminal as pal. And Steve Ditko wrote like a 5-page letter explaining why The Question would never refer to a criminal as pal.
That's great! Never heard that. Why did you say that as if I would know what you were talking about?
I thought it was a thing that I must have brought up before.
Well, I think you've told me about a couple of letters that certain artists or writers have written, but I didn't specifically know which one you were talking about. I don't remember you mentioning that, though. That's pretty great.
Yeah, no.
But, I mean, we talk a lot.
So this whole sequence...
And we don't film all of it, but we should.
Could have been quit. It could have been cut.
Yes.
It could have been them taking off and then just went right here, like, oh no, we're falling.
But Eric,
like, it's nothing. It's not spectacular. It's not it's not an action scene. It's not. I know what planes do.
We're not. Yeah. So you needed to see all that so you could see how they've been through hell.
But fate didn't.
So yes,
science randomly pulled you.
Yeah, randomly. Yeah, don't do the fate thing. So can you believe that we are here, and we've got the standard save the damsel in distress bit, and we have 30 minutes left.
We're here. We have the standard save the damsel in distress bit, and we have 42 movies left.
That's true. And it will not be our last damsel in distress either. Not by a long shot.
No.
What movie are you most looking forward to?
X-Men 2, because you said you had a different experience with it, so I'm looking forward to watching that with you.
Okay. I'm a little concerned that I won't have anything interesting to say when we do that, but yeah.
I'm excited to go back to the Blade movie.
Yeah, the last time I saw it, I didn't like it as well as I always have. And I mean, like, I gave that a 4, and that was weird. That was a really weird cut. Yeah, some of these I don't know what we'll have to say.
I've never finished Elektra. It's so boring. That should be one where we're playing a game or something. Like,
yeah,
we have to make it through that movie.
Yeah, we're gonna do that with some of these. We'll come up with some other silly activities to do while we're watching them. But you've never seen this, so I want to make sure that you watched it. It's always hard not to want to call him Jennings. It's weird not to have an S on that last name. Ah, the Nexus of Sominus. The good old Nexus of Sominus.
Wait.
Is she tied down on a ping pong table?
Maybe.
Because it looks like a ping pong table.
What is that going to do to her? Like, it shoots upwards.
They're using her to. He's using her to put the Dark Overlord in.
And we designed that laser so it could also serve that function? And 2, they're like, it keeps shooting randomly. He put in coordinates.
Yeah.
Why did they put in coordinates? Did they not know there was a coordinates button?
Did it? I forget. Did it randomly shoot like when they weren't there or something?
No, I think they shot it and like they shot it randomly. That's how they hit Duck World, and then again hit them.
Maybe he knows more than they do, and somehow or other that allows him to put in. But it's a machine. It would do the thing.
He is a Dark Overlord of the universe.
But it would do what it can do. That's the thing we do all the time. I don't know if we're doing that here. That's the thing we do all the time. Where if someone is smart enough,
you can
computers
make it do more than it can.
work better and have more functionality than they did before. My favorite example of that is still Scotty in Star Trek 4. You cannot make a Mac Plus bring up that many windows that fast just because you're a miracle worker. It doesn't work like that.
Doesn't he crack his hands where he does that too?
Yes. And he says, a keyboard. How quaint. That'd be fun. Let's pick a movie we don't like, watch it, and talk entirely about one other movie the whole time. All right, so today we're going to watch Howard the Duck, and we're going to talk about The Matrix. Scene by scene. And then you can go in and watch that movie with our Howard the Duck commentary and see if it lines up with The Matrix.
I don't know if I know The Matrix well enough to go scene by scene without watching it.
Go, now.
He's green.
No, I mean.
Tranny's running.
Go, now. That's Morpheus when
See?
he's going through the cubicles.
Yeah.
Remember when he's going through the cubicles?
I remember that.
He gets the phone in the manila envelope, and it's like a big 90s phone.
And then he whisses out, and he doesn't, because he's afraid of heights.
Yeah. That's apparently what laughing triumphantly looks like.
When I...
Look at his head. And see,
10 years later, that's, I can't think of his name. Dana Carvey. 10 years later, that's Dana Carvey.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious! He does look a little bit like Dana Carvey.
I hope when I grow old, my hair does that. Some old people have that. Like that's like their bed hair. Like when they wake up, that's what their hair look like. I hope that's what my hair looks like when I get older.
You know what they make in this laboratory?
Science?
Big telescopes.
Oh.
That's all they make.
No one's gonna get that.
That's a Dana Carvey joke.
I was laughing triumphantly as well, but it sounded different, which was interesting. I'm learning so much from these subtitles. That's what scoffing is? Oh, I always thought scoffing was like...
Eric, I'll be right back. Can you hold the fort for a second?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Oh, he's starting to transform. I thought. He looked like he had like reptile hands, but he doesn't. He's gonna shoot him with lasers. I'm just narrating. I don't know why you guys are watching this. I have nothing to contribute to this film. Oh, that was kind of a... I can't think of it. I guess John Carpenter is what I'm thinking of. I was thinking of a movie, but I can't think of it. But that's kind of John Carpenter-y. I guess he kind of looks like John Carpenter now in this movie. It feels like that should have been the climax of the movie, like that was the big ending. But I know there's a big monster coming. This is even being played like it's the ending. Like, oh, we had a big thing, and now he's going to stumble out. This is like an Indiana Jones ending. I guess it's a fake-out ending. That's not nice to do when we've had that whole airplane sequence, and that was kind of... felt like it was building something, and it wasn't. I like talking by myself. I find talking by myself if I start talking about myself, but like you leaving always trips me up.
Okay, what did I miss?
The movie ended, but it didn't. Because I know there's a big monster coming.
And that's true, there is a big monster coming.
But it feels like it's over.
Yep. That's a big movie thing we like to do, right? Yeah, that big fake out where it's like we beat the bad guy and then...
This one, they're actually taking their time with it.
Yeah.
A lot of times you do it like instantly. Like, this feels like the
like Men in
movie's
Black
over.
where it's like we took out the mind and there's a big monster.
Yeah. But... unfortunately, this would be cooler if I wanted to keep watching.
I actually like how he delivers that.
What do you say?
Like, Phil is the most obnoxious thing on the planet, but that's kind of funny. When she goes, she's telling him all about stuff that's happened that he missed. She's like, and then he stuck his tongue into a cigarette lighter. He goes, the cigarette lighter? That's disgusting! And I just think that's kind of funny.
What's the violator?
The biggest problem with this thing is just how badly color corrected it is. Where it doesn't remotely look like it's there.
Yeah.
And I feel like... and then
He looks
that
a
does
lot
look
like the monster in the beginning of Men in Black.
I was gonna say that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Men in Black is also drawing from this film. It inspired so many things.
Because that was also a comic owned by Marvel Comics.
Was it owned by Marvel?
I think it was. I think at the time it was.
I've never read those
forget.
comics,
I don't
and
know where it
they've
started.
never been like reprinted. In
You can't
trade.
get them.
It's so weird. Like you would think when that movie got real popular, they would put that out.
Or any of the other times they've done things with Men in Black.
Yeah. They have a whole theme park ride.
But yeah, I would be, because obviously I don't know a lot about special effects. I would be curious to know what exactly the process at the time was of doing a stop motion thing like this, where it's another element that you put in front of a background, because I feel like even in '86 you could have color corrected that better.
I will say though, the way it's moving,
It's cool.
is a lot more natural than most. Like I'm thinking like Ed 209.
Yeah, it looks better than Ed
Walking
209.
to Star Wars. It looks really natural. In how
There's
it's
some
moving.
places
That's really
where
impressive.
it's really fluid.
Yeah.
That part a second ago where he takes his arm and he does this and then the tongue shoots out,
Yeah.
that looks really good.
Yeah, it's not choppy like stop motion. Like it.
You can tell how they did it. You can
Yeah.
tell it is stop motion, but it's not choppy. You're right. Yes!
Not more of them.
So, why did they need to try to impregnate her? If they can just bring one down and there it is?
What do you mean?
Right?
No, that's the Dark Overlord.
Yeah, but the whole thing was, we need you to put a Dark Overlord in.
But he gestated in the other guy and then was able to become himself.
Oh. That's right.
No,
Like,
that makes sense.
okay, yeah, the thing... This is me going to old criticisms and trying to remember what exactly they were. The deal is, they're bringing more down, and it's unclear as to whether or not they're gonna go in the other people that are there right now, and if they're planning on using them for that, or if they just would appear.
Yeah, I would
It's
think they would go
confusing.
in them.
Like, and like, I always assumed that that's why it freezes them there, and that it's going to use them for that, but they never say that.
Mm.
If this movie had toys, that would be a toy. Howard on the...
Oh. I'm
Like-
really impressed by that Dark Overlord. He moves really naturally. He's a cool design. I like him.
I always liked him. Isn't that weird? That we have this really cool monster in this movie?
Yeah.
Trigger! He keeps changing colors, you know that?
Yeah. It's like they're trying to color correct him while they're doing that.
Yeah, because that time it looked better.
Unless
It's like they're just unfinished. Like, what is that? What are we doing?
That doesn't look so bad right there.
Hmm.
Now you're the overlord of nothing.
You're the dark overlord of zilch and nada. Overlord this. Lord over this.
They almost were erased from existence. But then, they got better. She cannot keep that shirt on her shoulder.
She should, like, get the clothes to fit.
That's not 80s.
Oh, okay. Ah! There are shots where his hands look like they're going to come off. Look, Eric, see, he's the hero because he's making the big epic sacrifice.
Yeah.
So I guess the idea is...
So are they now trapped in that tunnel?
Yeah, yeah. So if they're like celestial beings or they're from some other dimension, I guess the idea... Yeah. Oh, and they disintegrate just like...
Or they got sent back.
Yeah. Yeah, so wait a minute. If you're right and they glitterify and then that sends them back to their realm, is that what was happening to Beverly and Phil?
Maybe.
That they were being glorified to go to the celestial realm of evil darkness?
I don't know.
The nebulous of somnambule, whatever?
I don't know.
The Nexus of Sominus, is that what it was? Yeah.
It's weird that this is the first Marvel movie, but it feels so tropey.
Yeah.
We already know what we think a superhero movie is supposed to, or a comic book movie is supposed to be.
That was a really weird experience I had when I first saw Sam Raimi's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
2002, in the theater, I'm going, this is really by the numbers, like what every superhero movie has ever been. And then I thought, oh, well, we haven't had very many of them.
Mm.
I don't like this. He's such a jerk for doing this.
That's real funny. No, that's funny.
Really? I don't like it. But, really, would you do that to your friend?
Yes!
Everyone thinks you're dead.
Yes!
And you get up and you're like, I'm someone else!
Yes.
I'm gonna do that to Eric and film it and see how he feels about it.
I'll laugh.
It'll be a funny joke later. I don't know that you would laugh now. So, my favorite thing to complain about is in this last scene.
Is this the song that you keep talking about?
Yes. So this is the Howard the Duck song.
That's an outfit.
And if... Are you going to complain that it doesn't look like anything the band members are wearing?
I can't see what the other band members are wearing.
They're not wearing that!
But it's like an anti-coat.
Oh, actually...
not.
Actually, I think the girls are kind of wearing that.
Yeah, no, they're all dressed
similar. No, they are, okay.
Because they're a band.
Yeah, but the drummer's not. That's... Oh, actually, she's still got some gold.
Kiss doesn't come out and the lead singer comes out not in makeup.
Yeah, that's true. It's not the same thing, but yeah. I just thought that was a really weird thing to complain about. But yeah, if you listen to the synthesizer, it's the same thing he was playing earlier in her loft.
If it ain't funky, don't feel it. So that, I wouldn't exactly call this song funk.
That's true. That's true. So I guess he's
not feeling it.
He's not feeling this. Yeah, he's got his sign flipped red. Okay, this whole thing is hysterical because he's not supposed to show up on stage when he's about to show up on stage.
Mm-hmm.
That happens on accident.
But the music cue or the light cue is perfect for...
And it's an egg. And also in the lyrics, they're not showing us all the lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, right here. The lyric right there is, now I give you Howard the Duck. And he came on stage accidentally. I don't understand that.
Why have you listened to this song outside of the film so that you know what the lyrics are?
Because I was doing a rewind. No, I don't think I actually looked at the lyrics. You can, if you're paying attention, you can hear that part. And also, why does he have a tiny guitar?
Yeah.
If he's not supposed to be on stage.
Like, it was like prepped for him.
I mean, the real question is, why would you set it up like that? Why would you pretend like he's not supposed to? Just have him show up.
Yeah.
Especially because this is what he's always wanted.
Yeah.
Like, he makes the big sacrifice, and he doesn't get to go back home, and he gets to be a rock star like he always wanted.
That song wasn't the worst thing ever.
No, it's not. I was just wondering if you'd ever heard it before.
No.
But it gets stuck in your head, and it's obnoxious.
That's your light and magic. Thanks.
Another question I always had was, how are they suddenly this popular?
Yeah.
Why do they have this big giant crowd now? Like, does everybody know that they saved the universe? Like,
yeah, I don't. Well, unless this is like a year later, or like we don't know how much time has passed between that scene and this scene.
That's right, and I think I talked about that in the rewind too. It's real hard to come up with new things to talk about. Although you certainly managed quite a few, and tried to fix things that I've always.
And we don't see him eat pizza, so I stand by. He can't eat pizza because he doesn't have teeth.
That head's gonna fall off. Yeah, you can't have the pizza thing. That I still have. It's just because so much other stuff develops like that.
But not food stuff.
Okay, but you could still eat it. You would just slice. You just cut it up.
I guess.
Like, just because it wouldn't be finger food doesn't mean you wouldn't still come up with it.
Maybe. I don't know. It's
just they have everything else, and they have cigars. Yeah. And how easy would it be to put a cigar in a duckbill? Like, I guess I'm not getting why you're saying that you couldn't eat pizza with a bill if you can.
Because when you bite into pizza, and like most things, like a sandwich, you're like tearing at it with your teeth. You're pulling pieces of it and then chomping those pieces up. A bill can't tear into food.
Okay, does he not have teeth?
No. He doesn't have teeth.
I mean, we don't see his teeth. But do we know for sure he doesn't have teeth?
We see his mouth open like this! He doesn't have teeth!
I guess he doesn't have teeth. Okay. All right. I don't know.
Rewind ruined.
Yeah, you ruined my rewind. All right, well, Eric, it was real nice having you on the channel, buddy. But, alas, I'm going to have to find someone else to do the next 42 movies with.
On real short notice.
Because you just embarrassed me about rewind and teeth. We can't have that. I'm going to blame having to sit through this movie. I should not ever have to watch this again. I can't think of
no other situation.
I can't think of any, at least for the channel, I can't think of any reason that I would ever have to sit through this again. Although, I wouldn't have thought we were doing this. There's a few more movies like that where I'm going to be like, I thought I was done with this.
Have you done commentary for the Blade films?
No.
Oh.
This will be the first time we've done anything on those.
Oh, interesting. Those would have been movies I would have the commentaries on, but,
and so many of, and excuse me, a few of these movies, I mean, like, I would like to eventually have an official Geekvolution commentary for all the rewinds, but, like, those are movies that easily we could just never get to.
Right.
But, I mean, I'd like to, it's just there's a lot of stuff to do.
Yeah.
So at least, we'll have these. And I don't know, with some of the official commentaries, when we get there, it's going to be hard not to just say the stuff we said here. Like this is a weird experiment. Because I don't know how different a more loose, laid-back commentary is from what we usually do.
Yeah. Yeah. Howard T. Duck, there's a bunch of Howard T. Ducks.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people there.
You're pretty good at these, blind commentaries.
I guess so. We've done this in the Power Rangers.
I mean, you're pretty good at. Oh yeah, that's right. But you're pretty good at keeping up with what is going on while talking. Like, my mind tends to go to 100 different places, and then I just lose the plot. No idea what in the world's going on.
Yes, it's performed by Leah Thompson. She's got a pretty good voice.
Yeah. Everybody knows Captain Logan's not the best with plots sometimes. I have to watch things twice. I'm going back through Luke Cage right now. I know what's going on now. It's fantastic. I like sometimes I have to watch things a couple of times because I get hung up on character stuff and thematic stuff and.
It'll be interesting to see if that second half holds together better for you.
I'm already picking up on some things that make it a little better.
With Diamondback?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
But nothing real concrete. So I don't know. That'll be interesting. Locations equipped by Film
Sprocket Systems?
Trucks.
Where the Jetsons help out making this movie?
That's right. They came from the future to help make Howard the Duck.
Is there a post-credit scene on this?
They could have picked. Yeah, I told you it's Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, of course. It's
so how agonizing of an experience was that?
That wasn't that bad. I watch a lot of bad movies.
Yeah.
No, I feel like some people got duped, and so like this has been blown out of proportion as like one of the worst films ever made. It's a bad movie. And maybe it's because it was so expensive. Like that's part of it.
And because it was like the next Lucas thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. People would have expected more from it.
This is only a little bit worse than Willow. I don't think Willow's a very good movie.
Isn't that fighting words to a lot of people? Don't
those people
love
are
Willow? I've never seen that movie, so
not very good.
I have no dog in that fight. But
there's some good stuff in Willow, but it's not very good.
Well, all right, thanks so much for watching. We sure appreciate it. We got one down.
We got one down.
Knocked down one. Tomorrow, you will see our commentary for the 1989 Punisher. Yes?
Yep.
That is the next thing. And I have only seen that movie one time, and for the rewind, like 6 years ago.
I've never seen it. All I know about that movie is your rewind. 6 years ago.
Wow, and I don't remember anything I said.
I remember you being really positive about it.
I liked it a lot. So anyway, everybody, thanks again for watching. We sure appreciate it. We'll see you tomorrow if you would like to join us for that. And in the meantime, I am Captain Logan.
I'm Eric.